Good morning and welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today is pretty not lovely outside, so we are going to spend this video learning facts about Tiptoe. I wrote down 10 facts about tortoises, all like the interesting things that I could find. So buckle up because we are about to get educated. Tiptoe is a 175-pound, 21-year-old African Sulcata tortoise. They're also referred to as spurred-thighed tortoises, an African spurred-thighed tortoise, and a couple other names, but they come from the southern edge of the Sahara Desert in Africa. I have some little white rose petals for him on the floor that I'm gonna show him, and I'll see if we can get him to chillaxy taxi a little bit closer. Hi, buddy. Like I said, it's not the warmest outside, so he's a little bit chilly. For one, Tiptoe, like I said, is an African sulcata. Sulcatas are the third largest breed in the world, following the Aldabra and the Galapagos tortoise. They have a lifespan of 80 to 120 years. In captivity, it tends to be a little bit different depending on the care being provided and whatnot. But yeah, 80 to 120 years. So Tiptoe being 21 right now, he is still on the younger side of things. I got Tiptoe when I was 7 years old, so we've spent a lot of time together. When I got him, he was a little bitty boy and he could fit in the palm of my hand. Clearly, can't quite fit in the palm of my hand anymore, not for lack of trying, but he's grown quite large. Tiptoe is about 175 pounds now, but the record sulcata is up at, I believe it's 232 pounds, which is the largest recorded sulcata. It's in a zoo. I don't remember exactly where, but one day I would love to meet that tortoise. I cannot imagine an animal being bigger than Tiptoe. It blows my mind, and I haven't met like a big Galapagos tortoise yet, so I don't really, I have a lot to learn myself. Let's talk about Tiptoe's body. So sulcatas are called spur-thighed tortoises due to all of the spurs on their legs. These act as a defense mechanism against predators. Below Tiptoe's head, there is a gular spike. I also sometimes refer to this as his little heart because it is in the shape of a heart when he gets up on his legs. And this is part of the plastron, which is the bottom section of Tiptoe's shell. So he has the top, and then he has this bottom portion. So this is associated with the bottom plastron point. This is also used to help protect him in his natural environment, but it also helps them flip other tortoises when they are fighting. So if Tiptoe were to be in a fight with another tortoise, which, you know, we don't hang out with other tortoises, however, they are solitary animals, and if Tiptoe were to be with another tortoise, it is likely that there could be some sort of a brawl. And Tiptoe would use this portion of him, his gular spike, to try to flip another tortoise over. Tiptoe's shell is part of a skeleton, and it's made out of 2 layers. There's an inner bony layer, which has about 50 different types of bones, and a layer of keratin, which is a fibrous protein, that goes along the outside. Outer layer of keratin has blood vessels and nerve endings, which is why Tiptoe can feel whenever we touch a shell, just like if you're touching on top of your fingernail. But with that being said, that also means that if Tiptoe's shell were to be damaged, it can also bleed because it's loaded with blood vessels. So pretty crazy to think about. We have gotten very lucky with Tiptoe where we have had no shell bleeding incidences. We have had a few persimmons from our persimmon tree drop and splat on his shell. So when we would get home, we would see that happen and we would be very spooked thinking that something bad did happen. Persimmons are orange, kind of reflects the red, so we've gotten lucky with that. But yeah, these babies, they can actually bleed through their shell. Shell is completely a part of them. It grows with them. It's pretty amazing. Another fact about Tiptoe is that 75% of his diet is grass and hay. And although it may not seem like it through a lot of my content, this is what Tiptoe primarily gets. I like to share a lot of the more fun and like enrichment foods that we give him to keep it interesting. But yeah, 75% is grass and hay. Tiptoe eats a lot of orchard grass and timothy hay. However, we're a little bit careful with alfalfa hay just because it's high in oxalates. So we do tend to shy away from that grass. but some days Tiptoe's more into it than others. Today, clearly he's not jumping at the opportunity to eat hay, but that's okay. Contrary to popular belief, sulcatas and a lot of tortoises actually are solitary animals, meaning that they don't want to chill with each other. They want their space. Of course, the males and females, who doesn't love a little action? However, the males, they don't want to be hanging out with each other. They have little plans of their own. They can be pretty aggressive. Even when they're small, they will try to flip each other over. It's kind of like a fight to the death situation. So if you have multiple sulcatas, you could be totally fine too. You just have to keep an extra eye on them to make sure that there's no competition going on. Fact number 5, sulcatas dig burrows into the ground. In their natural environment, it is extraordinarily hot, averaging about 100 degrees a day, and the burrow allows them to escape the hot climate. Some sulcatas will even create burrows that are like 10 feet deep in length, which is pretty insane. And if you watch The Tortoise Whisperer, I know that Ike has a humongous burrow. The burrows help in providing them with moisture so they don't get too dehydrated in that climate. Tiptoe has never been a tortoise that will burrow into the ground, so we've gotten super lucky with that. A lot of tortoises will burrow like out of fences, they'll burrow underneath your home and whatnot. Tiptoe has not done that, but Tiptoe does root in his house. So he'll go into the corner and he will like use his arms to dig there. Doesn't get him very far. He has taken off the walls of his house before by doing that, but for the most part, Tiptoe does not possess the gene of wanting to dig. So maybe that makes us lucky. I don't know. If you have a tortoise, does your tortoise dig? And if so, what's that burrow like? So here's an interesting fact, but tortoises actually do not reach sexual maturity until they are 15 years old. This is one of the many reasons why they are considered an endangered animal in their natural habitat. It's actually quite interesting that in their natural habitat, they are considered endangered, but in captivity, they are extraordinarily overbred. So it's kind of funny how that works out sometimes. Oh, he literally just pooped and left. Oh my God, I love my life. So we did have to do a quick location change on that one. But like I was saying, due to the harsh climates, like I said, it's like 110 degrees or 100 degrees on average. That's pretty wild. So the harsh climate plays a role, along with the fact that they are being hunted for food like crazy. I get it, but I don't get it. Okay. And people also poach them for their shells. So it's a life cycle, some ups, some downs. So it's super interesting because they are definitely overbred in captivity. I was reading an article once and they are considered one of the most abandoned animals in shelters just due to the growth factor, the amount of care that they actually need. You get them when they're super tiny, they're so cute, amazing. A lot of misinformation about them out there in the world, so it happens. But if you have a tortoise, love them. A lot of people think that tortoises do not have ears at all, but that is just not true. Their ears are actually hidden behind this little flap on the side of his head, his flap scale. And Tiptoe can definitely hear when we call him. He's not like a dog that comes when called, but he'll look over at me, see what's going on, see if it's worth putting in the effort to come out to say hi. But there are ears on there. Yeah, you're listening, huh? Big listener. Another fun fact, once we get closer to their face, is that tortoises have 3 eyelids. So like I had said, tortoises are huge on burrowing, and that 3rd eyelid helps protect their eyes while digging. And there isn't too much research on tortoises' eyesight that I could find, but it is safe to make a few assumptions that they can see a range of colors, and being able to have that range of color helps them find that bright colored food. So as you guys can probably tell, when I have strawberries, watermelon, Tiptoe gets that extra pep in his step. It is because they have beautiful, beautiful eyesight. My favorite fact is that tortoises, they are smart. They are smart animals. I always hear people talking about them not being intelligent animals. However, that is just not the case. And just like anything, the more you spend time with an animal, the more likely you are to be able to make the connections and pick up on things that would lead you to believe that they're smart. Tiptoe's a very routine-based animal, but I know that he has good pattern recognition, great facial recognition, and with enough practice and training and use of quality reinforcement, They're definitely animals that can be trained. They're animals that are very smart. Last but not least, I wanted to include that tortoises can be affectionate animals. A lot of these things are kind of like, I know you heard that they're not, but they are. But yeah, tortoises can be extremely affectionate when they want to. So for Tiptoe, I don't know if it's because he just associates me with food at this point, but who could really be the judge of that? It's one of those animals where I like to consider him a you are what you eat kind of animal, just meaning that the more time you spend with them and the more that you are able to kind of pick up on those patterns of their behavior, the more you're able to help their personality flourish. So for Tiptoe, I know that he loves bright colors, so something that I'll do is I will wear a bright colored nail polish. Sometimes this gets me in a wee bit of trouble because he thinks that my hands are flowers or they are treats, but sometimes, like right now, he just wants to snuggle. You just want a party, boy. It's our makeshift tripod, so if you ever see us on the floor, we're usually using a bucket to hold up the camera. I hope you guys enjoyed this very quick little factual time with Tiptoe. If you guys have any recommendations for how I should be filming with Tiptoe, I know me being on the floor with him is so lovely, but I feel like I need to shake it up a little bit. But I want to be able to include both him and myself in the camera. He's a star of the show, so he's more important, but that means we got to be pretty low to the ground. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe as it really supports our channel, and we will see you guys for our next video.